In this video, I'm going to walk you through how InnerOrbit's reports give you the best NGSS data that you've ever seen. All of our questions are tagged with discrete elements of DCIs, SEPs, and cross-cutting concepts within performance expectations. If you're assessing students on a PE, you can go in and not just look at PS2A, but the elements in the K-12 progressions. There are things students should learn in 3.5, in 6.8, and in 9.12. And we report on these discrete elements within each PE to make sure you know that students struggle with the fact that forces have strength and direction, that they struggled with force pairs, but they understood and answered correctly questions about net force. This means as a district or a teacher with an individual student that you can go in and personalize resources or instruction for those classes or students. We have the same reports for SEPs that not only show what you've covered within an SEP, but the discrete elements that students have been successful on or have not been assessed on. This is especially important as SEPs are something covered in multiple grade levels over the entire course of a student's career in science, and we want to track whether they've been successful constructing explanations with models, looking at evidence, applying scientific reasoning, and also undertaking design projects. Each of these are discrete skills within constructing explanations and designing solutions, and we tag our questions with each discrete skill. Our reports even go into the evidence statements, where you can look at the depth of MSPS2-1 and what questions were given and how well students performed on those questions. The evidence statements provide a great litmus test for complexity, in that simple evidence statement questions will hit the beginning parts of the evidence statements, really focusing on background knowledge and basic skills. The later parts of the evidence statements get into application, analysis, and synthesis. We also have longitudinal reports, which measure student progress over time on an SEP, DCI, or cross-cutting concept. This report right here shows PS1B chemical reactions over the course of one unit in a chemistry teacher's classroom. It's pretty clear that the students started out struggling, and by the end of the unit, many students were proficient. These reports cover one assessment, a unit, an entire school year, or can span multiple school years, which means that your bio teachers can see where students started in middle school and where they struggled. A chemistry teacher can look at data from prior years to see what SEPs students struggled with and what discrete elements within those SEPs they need to cover. So before kids walk into your classroom, you know exactly where you can start or where you need to go back and cover material. If your district already has assessments that you'd like to use with our reports, you can copy and paste the current assessment phenomena and questions into our site, and then tag them with the discrete levels of standards that you see in our reports, which means the first question might only relate to the 3rd through 5th grade element of LS2C, but later questions may get at 6.8 and 9.12. Same is true with your SEPs for engaging an argument from evidence. You can tag each question with discrete elements just by dragging and dropping those elements onto the questions. This means that for a district, you can look at reports and allocate resources, PD, to make sure that your teachers are as effective as they could possibly be and students are getting what they need when they need it.